I know we will all be inspired by the wonderful young people featured here tonight. On behalf of WCLV Idea Stream, we want to thank you for your support that helps us to continue to present and showcase the young talent in our community throughout Northeast Ohio, the nation, and the world. We promise to continue delivering the best classical music on the air, online, and on those mobile devices. And speaking of mobile devices, since this is a live taping, please be sure that everything that beeps, buzzes, chirps, and rings is turned off. Thank you, Idea Leaders, for your generous commitment to Idea Stream. It is because of you and for you we are able to present this program tonight. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our sponsor for tonight's program. Please welcome Chip Wilson, Glen Mead, Corporate Executive Director of Client Services.
Thank you, Kathy. On behalf of Glen Mead and our Cleveland office and all of the team here in Cleveland, I welcome you. And thank you to Idea Stream. This is a remarkable facility, and National Public Radio and organizations like From the Top are critical to the culture of our cities. And I thank Idea Stream for what they do here in Cleveland. Glen Mead's been a proud sponsor of From the Top for the past 6 years. And we are delighted to have you all here tonight. Glen Mead and From the Top have a very common goal, and that is excellence in what we do. I can tell you, for those of you that have not seen a live performance of From the Top, you all are in for a real treat tonight. So I know we're going to have a lot of fun, so let's get right to it. On with the show.
And now welcome one of From the Top's most illustrious producers, Tim Baker.
Hello. Let me hear from you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you, Idea Stream, for bringing us into this first-rate facility. We know we get around. And thank you for working with their first-rate staff. And, thank you, CLV and Glen Mead. You guys are long-term believers in what we do. We need your support, and we so value it. And thank you all for coming. You guys, I need to hear from you. Are you ready for something wonderful? Yeah. And put your hands together for our show's fabulous announcer, Ms. Joanne Robinson.
Cleveland.
Yes, we're so excited to be in Cleveland. We feature kids from Cleveland on our show all year long. We bring them to different tour stops. This is such a mecca for classical music. And so it's wonderful to be in a place where we're going to feature them in their own hometown. So we're really, really happy about that. And also I want you guys to know that all the performers you're going to see tonight have been very busy with us while we're staying here. Not only have they been preparing for this episode, this taping, but also yesterday, all of them got together with our education team and they conceived an outreach event that they then took up to the senior community, Judson at University Circle, where they shared their music and their ideas and their good cheer, and they learned from the residents there. And then tomorrow, all of the performers will be doing something we call our Arts Leadership Orientation, which is basically like a half-day seminar where we talk to the kids about their power as leaders, as musicians, and we give them the tools to take their music beyond the concert hall and to give back. We do this with every kid who comes on our show and at every tour stop we visit. It's like 70 outreach events a year. And that, and we in places as diverse as the Senior Center yesterday in El Paso, where we just were. They worked with the YWCA Transitional Living Center, schools. So you might ask me, why do you do this? In fact, would you say, Tim, why do you do this?
Tim, why do you do this?
Very good. Simply put, we believe these kids have the power to change the world for the better. And we are there, man, just to harness and to focus all that energy. So speaking of energy, right, energy. So I do want you guys are going to fuel our show, right? We want you to give us your cheers and your applause while you're here. However, when the music is playing, we do want you to be very, very quiet, the opposite. So you'll probably notice when you came in that the platforms here are kind of noisy underfoot, right? So be aware of that with your feet. If you have to leave for any reason, just simply go up out the back during applause. That's when to make your move is during applause, okay? And then you can join the rest of the folks that are watching this excellent video feed out in the Smith studio. So that's that. What else? Is that my phone? That's my phone. Where is it? Where is it? Darn, where did I put it? Oh. They've stopped everything on stage. The audience, they're all glaring at me. They hate me. Wait, no, I didn't mean it. Don't let it happen to you. Turn them off, not on cell phone mode, not on airplane mode, no texting, of course. Off.
Tim. Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Tom Vagley, producer of the show. I'm sitting backstage in our control room. And Tim, you know full well we would never allow a cell phone mishap in our show. After all, this is NPR. Nothing ever goes wrong on this show. Nothing ever goes wrong on this show. Nothing ever goes wrong on this show. But in case it does, if Chris or one of the kids on the show makes a small mistake and I have to get back on this mic and ask them to go back and fix it, well, now you won't be terribly alarmed.
But making radio, young man, isn't just fun and games. No, sirree.
There is no photography of any sort during the show. No nose blowing, no unwrapping of hard candy, and as always, coughing during the music is punishable by death.
Okay, so we don't want coughing or unwrapping of candies, but as I said, we do want you guys to cheer, we want your applause, we want your laughter. So to get that energy going, repeat after me. Great kids!
Great kids!
Great music!
Great music!
Here's the guy that's going to bring all that joy your way. Get ready for one of our country's finest concert pianists, a man who loves Schumann almost as much as he loves Amy Schumer, the host of our show, Mr. Christopher O'Reilly.
From NPR, it's From the Top, celebrating the power of music in the hands of America's kids. Here's our host, concert pianist Christopher O'Reilly.
Welcome. We're at the Westfield Insurance Studio Theater at the Idea Center in Cleveland, Ohio. The Idea Center houses the public radio stations here in Cleveland, WCLV 104.9 Classical and 90.3 WCPN Idea Stream, as well as the public television station WVIZ PBS. And we want to thank our public broadcasting brethren for bringing us here to Cleveland. WCLV has broadcast From the Top from the beginning, and so we're especially grateful to them for being such loyal supporters of the show. With the Cleveland Orchestra and the Cleveland Institute of Music as linchpins, the classical music scene here is world famous. And we're going to get a taste of that scene now with the 8 young musicians on stage with me now. This is the Cecilia Octet from the Cleveland Institute of Music Young Artist Program, all teenagers from the area. Violinists Wenlan Jackson, 13, Phoenix Avalon, 15, Sean Lim, 17, and Jiming Tang, 18. Our violists are Sam Rosenthal, 15, and Claire Peerbrun, 16. Our cellists are Matthew Fields, 15, and James Hettinga, 16. They're going to play the first movement, Allegro Moderato con fuoco, from the Mendelssohn Octet in E-flat major. When you are ready, Cecilia Octet, please take it from the top. Cecilia Octet from the Cleveland Institute of Music Young Artist Program played the opening movement of Felix Mendelssohn's String Octet. They are coached by Annie Fullard. We're going to speak now with two members of the group, the two violists, Sam Rosenthal, who just happens to be Annie Fullard's son. We're not holding that against him. And Claire Perbrun, and we're not holding it against her that she's a violist. Sam, you say that this piece is really appropriate for teenagers to play. Tell everybody about that.
Well, you know, Mendelssohn wrote this when he was only a teenager, when he was only 16 years old. And all of us in the group are around that age. So we can really relate to the joy and friendship and happiness that you can hear.
And the spontaneity of the performance and the just ebullience and, as you say, the joy and exuberance of the performance was really all there. Well played, everybody. Sam, you say that this piece... Claire, you all did a trial run of this piece for a very special audience. Tell everybody.
Yeah, we performed the first and fourth movements at a school. So they packed about 400 kids into this room, and they all sat on the floor. And right as we were getting to the end of the fourth movement, it has this big dramatic end, and at the perfect moment, Ji-Ming's E string snapped. So we thought that was funny, and probably the kids probably thought that was funny too. We got some questions at the end. We stayed for a while, and one little boy raised his hand, and he said, "Is that hard?" And Sean, I think, answered and said something along the lines of, "Yeah, but it's worth it."
Yeah, real payoff, and good answer, too. God, playing for 400 elementary school kids, good for you. And you two come from homes filled with music. Claire, what's your home like?
Well, I'm one of 7, and we all play string instruments except the 2-year-old. And my mom teaches bass at the Oberlin Conservatory, and my dad plays bass also in the Cleveland Orchestra. So I've gotten used to falling asleep while other people are practicing.
Yes, of course. And Sam, because of your mom, you have to deal with all sorts of string players rehearsing in your house. What's that like?
Yeah, so my mom is a coach of chamber music at the Cleveland Institute of Music. So all the time there are college students coming over and playing at my house.
Wow.
And actually just the other week, one of the quartets that she coaches came over and they helped me practice the Mendelssohn that we just played for you. And I mean, it's amazing to see all these great kids. I respect them so much, and I really look up to them.
Nice to have those college kids as your sparring partners for this gig. Very good. Well, teen spirit in full effect. You guys were fantastic. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Sam Rosenthal and Claire Perebrun, teenage members of the Cecilia Octet from here in Cleveland.
Our website has become a great archive for students studying music. If you want to hear how a piece sounds in the hands of a young musician or hear more than one interpretation, search for the piece by name or composer at fromthetop.org. Over the last 10 years, From the Top and the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation have awarded over $2 million in scholarships to talented young musicians who have financial need. We still have more to give. Go to fromthetop.org to learn more.
Hi, my name is Sean Lim. I'm 17, and I was one of the violinists you just heard in the octet. I'm about to play a solo with Mr. O'Reilly, so I want to introduce that piece. But first, I want to tell you a little more about myself. There were two main experiences that helped me decide that classical music is really my thing. One was before we moved to Cleveland when I was in the National Symphony Orchestra Youth Fellowship Program. In the background, that's the National Symphony you're hearing playing Brahms' Fourth. As a student of the fellowship program, I got to play that piece and so many others, such as Beethoven Fifth, with that amazing orchestra in side-by-side concerts. Those were amazing and just once-in-a-lifetime experiences. The NSO program helped me a lot because that's when I realized how much I love music and how much I wanted to take it to the next level. And that's where my second influential experience came in, when I attended Meadowmount. Meadowmount is a summer-spring camp in upstate New York, and to be honest, it's a lot like being in a jail. I'm saying it as a joke, but they lock you up to practice for 5 hours a day. They only give you okay food, and you're only allowed to take 5-minute showers. See what I mean? I once told my teacher how boring it was to be there. He said Galamian, the founder of the camp, wanted to make it so boring that students have nothing to do but practice. But other than practicing, you do have time to make really, really great friends. It's a bonding experience, and the practice regimen really, really works. After 7 weeks, you become a whole different musician. I used to have really bad stage fright, and I still kind of do, but it has gotten a lot better recently. I've been performing so much that I don't get as nervous. I say to myself a lot, go out there and play something you really love. Don't worry about the technique. That's what you did in the practice room. Go on stage and celebrate the music. Play for it, play for the phrase, play for the audience, and ultimately play for yourself. And as Mr. O'Reilly and I take the stage to perform the introduction around a Capriccioso by Camille Saint-Saëns, I will go out there to play for the music, play for the phrase, play for the audience, and ultimately play for myself.
Introduction and Rondo Capriccioso by Camille Saint-Saëns, performed by Sean Lim, 17 years old, from Shaker Heights, Ohio. That was hot. That was real hot. Beautifully done there, Sean. You mentioned how important the National Symphony Orchestra Fellowship program was for you back when you lived in the D.C. area.
Yes, sir.
How have you found the Cleveland music scene to be for you?
Coming to Cleveland has been a really a different but really fresh experience for me. I've gotten a lot of opportunities that I didn't get back in DC, but I've just learned so much. There's been the youth orchestra here, Koyo. I think the manager is here tonight, Lauren. And I've also met many faculty, such as my two teachers right now, Mr. Laredo and Mr. Sloman. And our octet mother, as we call her, the one who curated it, was Annie Fuller.
Yeah, of course.
And just overall, just seeing all this different experiences in music and just learning more has brought different inspirations to me. I've gone to so many different concerts this year, and I've listened to so many different types of music. I've just been opened up to so much, and I've learned a lot coming to Cleveland.
Yeah, well, it's like I say about, Shanghai, there must be something in the water.
Yeah.
And Cleveland is sort of the same thing, and it's on fire,
yeah.
like Lake Erie. Not really. That's old news. Sean, that was just fantastic. I just loved playing that with you, and just the energy, got the Mendelssohn, and now the Saint-Saëns. You've gotten us off to a great start.
It was my pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Just world class. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Sean Lim, 17 years old, from nearby Shaker Heights, Ohio. And the teenagers from the Cleveland area just keep on coming. Up next, another talented musician from Shaker Heights. Please welcome 18-year-old bassoonist Joshua Elmore. Joshua, welcome. You're fond of saying that the bassoon is the perfect instrument for you. Why is that?
The way it looks. It's quite big, and it draws a lot of attention, and I like being the center of attention.
That's right. Well, you certainly command attention when you play this piece. It's just brilliant, and you play it brilliantly. Tell everyone what we're going to be hearing.
We will be playing Carl Maria von Weber's Andante and Rondo Ungheresi.
Joshua Elmore, 18 years old, our bassoonist from nearby Shaker Heights, Ohio, played Carl Maria von Weber's Andante and Rondo Ughereza. Joshua is one of our Jack Kent Cooke young artists. That was brilliant. And you know what? You know what they also say about the bassoonist, the clown of the orchestra. And you are such a clown. You just make me so happy to hear you and play with you.
Thank you.
Joshua, you've had some big news lately I want you to share with everybody. Tell everybody where you're going to be studying next year and about the eventful night when you learned this news.
I'll be attending the Juilliard School next year as a Kovner Fellow. Mm-hmm. And results were released at 7 o'clock. There was a rumor, and it was 6:30, and I was feeling very anxious all day. And there was a forecast for severe thunderstorms that night, and I was getting a little scared because I hoped nothing happened when the results were supposed to come out. So it's 6:45, and I'm watching Mozart in the Jungle and trying to pass the time to relieve my anxiety, and 6:50 comes, and then 6:55 comes, and I get a text message with a video attached saying that I got in, but I haven't got my scholarship information. In order for me to go, I have to get a good scholarship because college is obviously expensive. And at 6:59, when they put the letters on the internet, a strike of thunder hit and the lights went out. And I run out of my house trying to get service because I have bad cell phone service in my house. And I'm like trying to run as far away from the house as I can so I can get the best service. And I finally find out that I receive a full ride Kovner Fellowship.
I love that image. You know, out there screaming and tempting the thunder gods about your big news. I know you'll be studying bassoon at Juilliard, but you could be studying voice. I know you love musical theater, and in your high school you've had some major parts. I mean, you know, I know you just played the lead character, Jean Valjean, in Les Miserables. What was that like?
Playing Jean Valjean in my high school production. First of all, my high school is very well in the arts. They treat the arts as equal as any academic class, and I really appreciate that, especially as an artist myself. And playing that role is my biggest role that I've ever played. And being able to play that role is unfortunately my last role as a theatrical guy was very hard for me. I know on the last night singing Bring 'Em Home, which is Jean Valjean's big number in the musical, it was quite emotional for me, especially having done theater all my life and having to give it up to focus on music.
Yeah, well, quite a swan song, that last performance of Jean Valjean. You and your musician friends spend a lot of time in the safety of the practice room, but you got out of your comfort zone a little bit. Tell everybody about the incredible risk-taking adventure you all went on recently.
This past December, me and a couple friends decided that we were going to take a break from practicing and going out, and we decided to go on an adventure. So we drove as far into the wilderness as we could, and instead of turning back the GPS, you know what we did? We turned it off. And we got as lost as we could, and we found our way back.
Wow. Tempting the thunder gods, going rogue, no GPS. You are a man living on the edge. I love that. And playing on the edge too, Joshua. Brilliant performance. Thanks for being with us. And good luck next year.
Thank you.
Joshua Elmore, 18 years old, from neighboring Shaker Heights, Ohio. We're at the halftime, and I like to do a little solo piece at this point in the program. This is a short piece by the Spanish composer Anton Garcia Abril, and it's one of his little ballads. This is the Ballad of the Dying Star.
From NPR, it's From the Top, celebrating the power of music in the hands of America's kids. This week, we're coming to you from the Westfield Insurance Studio Theater at the Idea Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Coming up, Samuel Barber's Nocturne, played by a talented teenager from San Jose, California. Today's performance in Cleveland is made possible with support from Glenn Mead and Cowell and Hubbard. Here again is Christopher O'Reilly.
Thanks, Joanne. Joining us now, an outstanding 18-year-old cellist from Homedale, New Jersey. Jessica Hong and I will play the opening movement of the Beethoven Sonata for Cello and Piano No. 4 in C major. first movement of the Beethoven C Major Cello Sonata, played by 18-year-old Jessica Hong from Homedale, New Jersey. Jessica, I understand that you had your pick of which Beethoven sonata to learn, and this was your favorite. It's obviously just part of your heart and soul. Really beautifully played. Thank you. I understand that you used this piece in your auditions for conservatories. So why did you choose this sonata? What was it about it that made it your favorite?
Well, going through all 5 sonatas, I thought this one really suited me the best. And other than that I really liked it. For auditions, kids usually tend to play the 3rd sonata, the A major, which is also very beautiful. But I thought that the 4th suited me better, and also I could stand out more from the other applicants.
Very contrasting.
Well.
Yeah, really both sides, very stormy and very sort of serene also at the beginning, both well captured. You must have played it well in your audition for Juilliard because, like Joshua, you're studying there next year. Are you excited about living in the city?
I'm very excited. When I was in the pre-college at Juilliard, I only knew about 2-3 blocks around Lincoln Center. So I hope that this year I could explore more of the city, but exploring also leads to distractions, and I really hope that I can stay with my practice routine and not get too distracted, because at home I always have my parents, like my mom, always pushing me to practice harder, practice more. So I hope that in college I could have my own discipline.
It's a good, very concentrated community of musicians there. I'm sure you'll be inspired by that. Isn't your mom the reason that you started playing the cello?
Yeah, I started playing the cello because my oldest sister played piano, my second sister played violin, and my mom thought it was a good idea for us to have a little trio, so she put me on cello.
I know your mom and dad came to this country from Korea, and you've been working hard to learn more about your Korean heritage. Do you speak the language?
I don't speak fluently, but I could understand all of it. I could read and write. And my sister is actually, my oldest sister is fluent. She's bilingual, and I always see her communicating with our grandparents and our other relatives who live in Korea. And I was actually very, very jealous of her that she could have that ability. So I'm hoping to improve more with my speaking.
I know one word of Korean. Kimchi. It's the most important word, isn't it?
It's the only word you need.
Of course. Didn't you study music in Korea as well?
I did over the summer last year, and a couple years ago I attended the Great Mountains Music Festival in school in Korea, and I'm going there this summer again. And I thought not only was I able to improve cellistically by watching master classes and having lessons and watching other people play, but also I think I got to improve on my Korean more, because a lot of the students there live in Korea, and communicating with them is a little difficult because they don't speak a lot of English. So I kind of forced myself to start speaking Korean more.
So you helped them with their English, and they helped you with your Gangnam Style, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica, it was such a pleasure playing the Beethoven
Thank
with you, and best of luck next year. Great having you with us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jessica Hong, 18 years old, our cellist from Homedale, New Jersey.
Podcasts of From the Top featuring bonus content not heard in the radio broadcast are available every week at fromthetop.org.
Now I'd like to introduce you to a brilliant young pianist from San Jose. I first heard this young man perform when I was judging the Mondavi Young Artists Competition at UC Davis earlier this year. He was a finalist, and at that time, I was just completely blown away by his playing, and I'm sure you will be too. Please welcome 18-year-old Andy Sheng. Andy, tell everyone what you're going to play.
Hi, I'm going to be playing the Barber Nocturne Opus 33.
Andy Shing, 18 years old, from San Jose, California, played Samuel Barber's Nocturne, Opus 33. Andy, breathtaking and masterful as always. So great hearing you play that piece again. I probably should describe your playing as out of this world because isn't it true that people in your high school thought you were an alien? How did they come to that conclusion?
Well, it all started back in 10th grade when I began watching a lot of Doctor Who. And so at school, I'd make a lot of time travel references and tense changes. I remember this one time when I was making a presentation for my calculus class on the applications of Newton's law of cooling. And one of the applications that I talked about was the time it takes to cool the inner core of a time machine. And so I'd always not have to study so much for tests and still get really good scores. And so some of the students in my class or some of my peers began wondering, how do you do this? And because I was watching a lot of Sherlock, I told them I was accessing my mind palace.
So they thought you were an alien.
Right.
I didn't hear any refutation of that, by the way.
No.
No, okay, all right. You're obviously a wonderful pianist, but you really want to be a conductor, and I can hear the orchestration in your playing quite palpably. Tell everybody about the orchestra you put together yourselves with a friend in 8th grade, an orchestra?
Right. So back in 8th grade, a friend and I, we were thinking about providing a sort of symphonic experience for the young musicians in our community. We had separate bands and string orchestras, but it was difficult for young musicians to get together in a full classical orchestra. And so in 9th grade, we decided to go around with posters and recruit members to be a part of our orchestra. And at the most, I think we had around 25 members. So it was difficult at first, learning how to properly conduct, getting members to rehearse together, and picking out repertoire. And of course, we were always at a deficit of string instruments, so I had to do a lot of arrangement for that too.
Mm-hmm. So a lot going on there. You've been exploring conducting ever since, and I know last summer you got to study at the European American Musical Alliance Institute in Paris. So how's the conducting teaching there?
Right, so there every week we would have one seminar and one private lesson for conducting. And in these seminars and private lessons, we'd go into this empty room with just me, the score, and the conducting professor. And we'd conduct into this empty room. And it was really awkward at first, but yeah, it took some getting used to. But it was really amazing how the conducting professor was able to just look at our gestures and tell exactly what we were thinking about or weren't thinking about. I remember this one time I was conducting a passage from Brahms' Second Symphony, and the professor stopped me and said, "You're not thinking about the fourth horn part," which was true.
God. Sort of half conducting professor, half Jedi master, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I know you've been playing bass in your school orchestra, which you say also helps with your conducting and your point of view, your experience of the orchestra.
Right. So as a bass player standing at the back of the orchestra, we can hear everything that's going on in front of us. And so we can kind of, by playing the bass line, control the texture and the progression of the piece. And so to me, it's kind of like being a second conductor.
And you've got the framework. You're the root of the whole orchestral sound.
Right.
Great insights. And where are you going to be spending this summer?
This summer I'll be going to Romania, studying in the International Institute for Conductors Advanced Conducting Academy. There I'll be working with the Bacau Philharmonic Orchestra. And so I'll be very glad and excited to be working with this orchestra in this exciting experience.
Not conducting in an empty room.
Right.
That's also a good thing. Well, before we lose you permanently to the podium at the New York Philharmonic, we'd love to hear you play another piece at the piano to take us out. What will you play?
I'll be playing the Chopin Etude, Opus 25, number 6 in G sharp minor.
A wonderful end to our program today. I want to thank all of our great young performers, and thank you for listening. This is Christopher O'Reilly. Please join me next week. And now, Andy, you can take it from the top.